This is a pump house that I built a couple of months ago probably, and I did a video on that if you want to watch that. At that time I said that I would come back and show you how I winterized it, and this is an attempt to do that. So I finished winterizing it the other day because the temperature was going to get low, so I had to get it done, and I just want to come back today and show you what I did. So first of all, I put a lid on it. So what I did was I cut a piece of styrofoam that will fit right in here, or it fits right on top of that. And then when I put the lid on, it seals the top of this. Now before I pull you in closer, let me show you. This I put in the summertime because I was having trouble with my pump overheating in here. I wasn't getting enough circulation around the motor. So I put this little door in, and put some screen there to keep wasps and dirt daubers and that kind of thing out. So now the air comes in here, washes over the back of the motor, and comes out the top. But to winterize it, I put the little foam plug back in there and just put something to secure that door. This is the insulation that I put on the pipes that come on the outside, and I did this back when it was warm enough I didn't mind wading around in the water. But you can see, and right now the pipes are only about 6 inches under the water. This pond's about a foot low, so hopefully it'll fill up before we get a hard freeze. This pond rarely freezes over anyway, but just in case it does, I need about another foot of water in here to insulate those. So to insulate those pipes, I wrapped them with this self-regulating heat cable or heat tape, and I've never used this stuff before, but apparently it says that, so it's got a wire that runs down each side of it, and I'll link this in the description so you can look at it if you want to. But it's got a wire that runs down both sides, and then there's some kind of gel stuff between it. It seems like plastic that runs down between it. And apparently it says that, you know, depending on the temperature or whatever, it regulates along the length of it how much heat will be generated across those two wires. So when you read the descriptions and people's reviews and stuff, they say they work really well. So we'll see how it goes. I ran this all the way down the pipe. I spiraled it down the pipe and then spiraled it back up, and then went over to the next pipe, spiraled it down and spiraled it back up. And one thing I liked about it being self-regulating was, depending on where it is, whether it's, you know, this is waterproof too. So whether it's under the water or it's above the water, it may need more or less heat, and apparently this is supposed to be able to regulate that. So I wrapped it with this, and then I wrapped it with this stuff, and I'll link this in the description also. But it's just 1/8 of an inch of rubber insulating tape, and it's sticky on this back side right here, and it's got some kind of fibers in here to kind of give it a little bit of strength. But I wrapped it, you know, put this on there, and then I wrapped it with a double layer of this, and then I put that sewer pipe that you can see on the outside. I split it down the middle and wrapped it around there just to protect it, because this stuff is really pretty. I mean, like, it can scratch off pretty easy, and I figured the sun would deteriorate it and animals would probably tear it off, and that's just on there to protect it. All right, so here's the control panel that is used to turn on and off the heating elements and let me know if this cabinet has gotten below freezing. And I have a separate video on how this control was built. In case you're interested in that, I'll link that in the description also. The LEDs that tell me the condition of what's going on, there's the little green one that tells me if the power's on, and a red one that shows me if it starts to get down to freezing inside this cabinet. And those wires are right here, and they run to the front of the box. And you can see the LEDs right here. Now this green one's lit up. It's got a lot of sun on it, so it's kind of hard to tell. But it's lit up right now. And at night you can see it really well from the house. And then there's a little red one that'll come on if it gets to where, down to 1 degree Celsius in there. All right, so the elements in here, this is my heating element. It's a 100-watt light bulb. That's my heating element to keep the box warm. And then the wires that you saw me putting on those pipes, they come in right here, and they run over and they connect to this bus right here. Now that is, when this kicks on, it's not right now, but when this kicks on, when it gets cold, this will be live 110 volts. So I've got to get a cover on this to protect it, but I wanted to get it all installed first before I figured out how I was going to need to design that. Also, my 100-watt light bulb connects here. So when this relay kicks on, because this temperature controller is telling it to, it will energize this terminal over here. Turns on the wires to warm the pipes on the outside, and then turns on the bulb to heat the inside. The thermocouples are down here on the floor. I'm thinking down here is going to be the coldest part, so I've got them just laying down there. We'll see how that goes as far as you know, making sure that it's regulating the temperature correctly. As you can see, the inside of the box is insulated with 1/2-inch styrofoam. It's been like that since I built it. That was put in, you know, when I put the walls into it. Okay, well, I think that covers the features of the winterizing on this pump. I do keep it going year-round because we get very few days that are just cold enough to do damage, and so I continue to use water pretty much all winter long. But I hope this was helpful to you. Thank you for watching.